Hi everyone, can you hear me? Ooh, I can hear myself. Also, I'm like, Jack, how do you did you fly this in? How'd you get this thing in here? Hi everyone, I am Nikki Schanzer, and I am thrilled to be here. I also am an Austinite, so I'm assuming many of you are as well. I am currently at LinkedIn, but a little history is that I spent 10 years as a seller, and then I transitioned to enablement, like many of you I'm sure, and I've been in enablement for 7 years. And 5 of those years I got to lead teams at Dropbox, Hopin, and Outreach. And I'm also a certified life coach. And I, for the last 3 years, have been like, how do these things come together? I know that they do, and I've been putting it out in the universe. And LinkedIn had a job where my job now is to create programs for sales leadership and coach them on how to coach their teams. So I have this dream job, and with the macroeconomic economy, I'm like, please let me keep it every single day. So with that, I am so excited because we're gonna talk sales coaching. We're gonna talk about the GROW model. We'll do a workshop. I'm gonna toss you not only like in the deep end, I'm gonna like literally throw you in the middle of the ocean. So apologizing now. And then we'll do takeaways. Okay, so who here has heard of the Peter Principle? A few of you? Okay, so Dr. Lawrence J. Peter wrote a book called The Peter Principle in 1968. He's a sociologist, lecturer, and business consultant. And his theory is that in a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to their level of incompetence. So what that means is most of us are in a top-down organization right now. I would assume most of us are in that. And when you do well at your job, success is rewarded through achievement, through promotion. So you do good at your job, you get promoted. You do good at your job, you get promoted. And then at some point, you hit a point of incompetence, and success is replaced by failure. So why am I even bringing this up? I have a fundamental belief that this is what we're all dealing with as enablement folks with our revenue leaders and teams. So, thanks to Google, I found lots of studies, but this one I thought was interesting. 3 professors across 3 prestigious universities analyzed 53,035 salespeople across 214 American organizations. And 1,531 of those salespeople got promoted to be sales managers. And there were 3 things that were really interesting about that data. The first is the best salespeople were more likely to get promoted to be manager. And we're all like, yeah, that happens a lot. 2, those very people perform poorly as managers. And 3, guess what happens next? They become a manager. Guess about what happens to the performance of their team? Everyone, yeah, that's exactly what happened. So what does this mean for us? We cannot, none of us want to, or are thinking that we want to prevent internal promotion. That's not what we're trying to do here. We also cannot prevent people from being great salespeople going into sales leadership. But what we can do is build amazing programs for them to make it an easier transition that has wild impacts on them, their careers, and their teams. Enter the GROW model. Who here's heard of the GROW model before? Okay, great. So the GROW model is a framework. It's a coaching framework. And think of it as a conversation framework. GROW is an acronym, and I will go through it with all of you. And it's a really easy to understand framework that allows a person to identify a goal and move all the way towards action. How many managers do we have in the room? A few of you. How many times have you had like a conversation with someone on your team and you're like, I know that I want them to do this thing, and why will they just not do it? Happens all the time. And then as an IC, you're like, I don't want to do the thing you're telling me to do. That's where coaching is beautiful. It is an absolutely amazing thing, and the GROW model is actually perfect for this. So I'm going to go through it with you. G stands for goal. What do you want? And when I say the term coachee, that is the person being coached. So you can think of that as yourself when you're being coached or a rep being coached, but I'm going to use the term coachee. So what do you want? A coachee is the one who defines the goal and the outcome. What do they want? And the coach then, this is a great opportunity for a coach to build rapport and help them set direction. R stands for reality. What's happening? A lot of times we move way past what's happening today and we're not understanding limiting beliefs. A coachee needs to understand why they haven't hit that goal. What has happened, what's gotten in their way, and they start to understand obstacles. O stands for options, and this is the fun part. This is where a coachee gets exploratory, and they start to go, well, what's in front of me? Now that I know what was limiting me before, my current reality, what are my options? And even if they come up with one or two, it's better than nothing. And then W, some people call this will, other people call it way forward, so you may see it a few different ways. What will you do? This is the action step. The coachee defines what they will do next. And it is okay if somebody says, I'm going to take the smallest step absolutely possible. Just getting to that next thing is really, really, really important. So this is the GROW model. And I have come up with a really oversimplified example, like a ridiculously oversimplified example. And I want us, right now, up to this point, we've all been talking about, we've been focusing on like the revenue leaders and teams. I'm going to flip the script, and I want us to focus on ourselves, because we're amazing. So let's focus on ourselves, forget them. We're going to focus on us. So this example is all about us, okay? And the reason I did that is because I think we need to experience it first. You have to feel what the GROW model feels like before you could teach somebody else. So, oh, and by the way, I'm going to do a role play like by myself, so hopefully this is like 10,000 times more awkward for me than it is for you. So, we start with goal. And a coach would say, what are you hoping to get out of the conversation today? And a coachee may respond, I really want to figure out if I should build a coaching program for our sales managers. You'd move to reality. What's happening currently? We have a lot of managers who spend time supervising, and we're seeing that impact their teams. What do you think needs to happen to get started? What are your options? I need to see if this is a priority with sales leadership, and I think I need to think through what resources I would need. Okay, so walk me through what your next steps look like. Notice I did plural on steps. It's like just trying to get a few more action items in there. The coachee may say, I'm going to meet with a few sales managers, and after that I'm going to come back to you in a one-on-one and let you know what they thought. So, way oversimplified here, but can you see how we move from goal? The lines of questioning that we're taking takes us to a way forward. Now, get ready. You're going to get real close, and this is going to feel chaotic. But I'm going to have you get in groups of 3, and don't do it yet. I will tell you when. I'm going to give you only 30 seconds to do this. And you are going to get really close in a bundle. There's an additional person. You can latch on to a group of 3. I will have a role for you. Okay? So I'm going to give you 30 seconds and group together in little bundles of 3. Ready, set, go. Okay, you have about 10 seconds left. Okay. Are we all in our groups? That was like literally the most seamless transition. Like chairs literally were like, that's what I saw happen. It was like miraculous. Okay, want to know what we're doing? A real play. Ooh. Okay. So there's going to be 3 roles. And if you're in a 4th, that's okay. I'll let you know what to do in a second. There's going to be 3 roles that are played. The person with the shortest last name, you're going to play a coach today. And I'm so sorry you have name tags on, because you can't lie. So you are going to coach to grow. The person with the longest last name gets to play the coachee. And I will walk through I'm going to walk through each of your roles in a second, so don't be afraid. And then if you have like an in-between last name, like I don't know what to call that, but you will play the observer. And your job, I have keep time here, but I'll keep time for you. I need you to actively listen, and you're going to facilitate a feedback moment. Okay, so I'm going to give you 20 seconds now to figure out who's playing what role, and then I'm going to tell you what each of you are doing. Ready, set, go. 10 seconds left. Okay, do we all know our roles? We good? Okay, where are my coachees at? Oh, it feels so good to be coached. You're gonna feel great after this. Okay, so coachees, you got some options. You are going to be coached on one of two things. One, choose your own adventure. Maybe it's, I have SCO next week and 8 of my stakeholders decided to drop out. I like see PTSD on people's faces. They're like, ugh, it's happened. Maybe it's, I keep having someone come up to me that is in sales leadership and they're like, no one knows how to negotiate. I need enablement. What do I do? Maybe that's your scenario. Pick your adventure. That's option 1. Option 2, if you can't think of something, here's one. A manager's asked you to create a coaching program and you don't know where to start, and you're looking to get clarity and ideas on how to begin this project. Okay? Coachees, how do we feel? We good? Okay. Now, these conversations are only 15 minutes. For some of you, this will feel like a lifetime. For others, it will fly by. Now, coaches, where are you at? They're all like, ugh. Okay, don't worry. There is a worksheet for coaches specifically. If there's a worksheet on your table, if you don't have one, like, let us know. But the coaches are the ones with the worksheet, and I specifically built this for you so you don't have to feel like you're off on an island and like, what do I do? Coaches, you are going to start the conversation when I say go, when this thing starts. You are going to ask the question, what is top of mind for you? And your coachee is then going to toss one of their options in. You're going to go through the GROW model, and you can leverage your worksheets. I'll get to that in a second. And when I tell you all you have 2 minutes left, you can start wrapping up the conversation, and you're going to ask, what are your takeaways from our conversation today? So this is the framework. Coaches, how do we feel? How are we feeling, coaches? I know you got the toughest job. You feel great. You're going to nail it. You're going to nail it. Okay. Observers, where are we at? If you're the 4th in a group, you're also playing an observer? Okay. So you are going to be actively listening to this conversation. You are going to be listening for things within the GROW model, what's coming up that's interesting to you. And when I end this, you're going to have 5 minutes of feedback to discuss what just happened. Observers, you're going to do the 2x2 model. First, you're going to ask the coach, what went well? And then you're going to ask them, what would you do differently? And don't worry, I'll have this up on the screen. And then observers, you're going to share from your perspective what went well and what would you recommend they think about doing differently. Okay, observers, we good? I'll have this back up on the screen, don't worry. Okay. Again, like I said, I taught you the GROW model in one slide. If this doesn't feel awkward and clunky, that's odd, okay? I am throwing you in. But what I want you to know is that this is actually pretty easy to follow, even though it's gonna feel kind of awkward. Use your worksheets. Like if literally read off of it, it is totally okay. Spend some time in each of the areas as you go forward. And the idea is to see how far you get and see what comes out of the conversation when you ask really great, powerful questions. Okay. Non-judgment zone. Again, I tossed you right in, okay? So I know you're all like, it's like laser beams. You're all like, ugh, like no one likes me in this room. It's okay. Hopefully you like me after. But are we ready? Does anyone have a question on their role or what we are doing? I'm going to tell you to go in a second. You will have 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you when you have 2 minutes left, and that's when you wrap it up, coaches. Ready, set, go. Hey, Steve. Yes, so if you, my mic's on. If you go in a group, just play in a group. So both of you, I would split up. Okay. And find a group, maybe a third here, and then pick a third here. Go ahead. Share back?
Yeah, so there's microphones on, so all the middle tables have got microphones, so if it was behind or in front, just ask the middle tables to pass their mic back, and then that'll be fun.
stealing your idea. You have about 8 minutes left in your coaching conversation. Keep the questions going. Okay, you have about two minutes left to finish up your coaching conversations. One minute left. Okay. How's everyone doing? We okay? Everyone survived. How great is that? Okay, let me check in here. Coaches, raise your hand. Coaches, who coached? Congratulations. You guys nailed it. Yay. It's a tough thing to be thrown into, so thank you. I want to spend a few minutes to have you all go through feedback now, if you haven't already. Is 3 minutes okay? Does that sound okay to discuss feedback? How many people got to feedback already? Quite a bit of you. Okay, who did not? Okay, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk amongst yourselves so that everybody can get feedback. And then I'm going to be asking some folks to share, okay? So take about 2 to 3 minutes. I'll bring you back in. About 45 seconds left. Okay. All right. Woohoo! You did it. Okay, can I hear from... I know, it's so exciting. Can I hear from a coachee or two on what that felt like for you? And I think there's like microphones somewhere, unless you're a really loud speaker, but I would love to hear in a microphone from a coachee. Is anyone willing to share what that was like for them? No one? Okay, great.
Going through the process, it really made me think through my problem and what the problem truly is or was.
So made you really think through the problem and what the actual problem really truly was. I love that. Thank you. Coachees. Who else? Katie.
I felt like the open-ended questions helped me get there, but feel like I had ownership in how I got there. So it was empowering on my end to feel like I came to my own conclusion.
Yeah, I love that because that's how a coachee should feel, that you're owning your own destiny. And it sounds like through open questions you were able to get there. Thank you. Any others? One more coachee? What did that feel like? Yes?
I would second that. It felt very natural. It felt like we're talking more about what the problem or the issue is versus maybe what I had or hadn't done.
Yeah.
So it's a natural progression.
Yes. So I love that you said that because I had just heard recently that you coach to the problem, not the person. And it's just stuck with me. And so I think that hopefully encapsulates exactly what you just said. That was great. Thank you. Coaches, how did that feel other than terrifying? Any coaches want to share? Yes, in the back.
I wanted to tell her what to do.
Thank you for owning that. That is great. Yes. Okay. So you wanted to tell her what to do. And then what was happening internally as you were going through that? How did you fight against that?
I also try not to ask her leading questions.
Mm-hmm.
Just constantly resisting the urge to tell her what to do and ask questions that would basically be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's like, ugh, you're just not getting there on your own. That can be really hard. So thank you for saying that. Coaches, how else did it feel? Yes?
I think it was easier because I didn't know anything about the company and the issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the problem is as soon as you know more, it's harder to come up with questions and leading questions.
Yes. When you're in an organization, you feel like you know all the nuances, you know all the details, and then you're just like, well, I know the answer. So I love that you called that out because I think that pertains to what we talked about earlier. The reason that sales managers are more often to fail and their teams don't succeed is because guess what mindset they show up with? Just do what I did. So that's exactly the thing that's hard to fight against, but to your point, way easier when you don't have all the information. So it's how do we untangle that when we do have the context? Thank you for that. Any others from the coach's perspective? Yes?
I think it felt kind of like empowering to watch them talk, like speak through their own issue or their own goal and how to get through it. So I think that I enjoyed that part of just watching it mind work the way it did. Like, I can do this and this and this and those things.
Yeah, thank you. So it was empowering to see somebody, like see the wheels spinning in someone's head, like, I actually do have options and I can get through this on my own. Yes, thank you. All right, observers, anything that you want to share? Yes?
I found it challenging when we got into the meat of it and not like ask questions myself and kind of like dive into it and I had to like sit back and just like take a note.
Uh-huh.
Very tough for me to want to do that, so it was actually good practice.
It is good practice. And also, like, how many of you, you're probably all sitting there and you're like, if I was Nikki, would have done that slide differently. Like, it's so much easier when you're not the one like doing it, that to be in the observer seat, to be able to actually actively listen and see it without any pressure. Any others? Yes.
It's interesting to me how this is much like a discovery call for a salesperson, where what is the reflex we all try to coach against, which is the first bit of information they get, they're off solutioning.
Yes.
Right? And so I like this framework, how there's several questions per category, and particularly in reality, what is happening. One question is not enough. Let's go 2, 3, 4 levels deep on what's happening on reality, just to make sure we're scoping this correctly before we start guiding forward the rest of the solution part.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like you could spend all day like just asking all of these questions. And I think one of the parts that's most often missed is we hear a goal and we take it at face value. We're like, yep, cool, you're clear, the end. When in reality, we need to know why that's their goal. Why have you not hit it before? Like, what's happened? So to your point, tied to reality, like goal to reality, it's okay to spend a lot of time there. Our natural instinct is like, yeah, way forward, we got SHIT to do, okay? Like, we got to move forward. So if you are able, whether you manage a team, whether you do not, this also works when you are talking to your stakeholders. So test it out. These they don't know their goals. So how are we supposed to know what they want? So test it out on them. And I'm just, first of all, I know that was wildly uncomfortable. So thank you for going through that and for sharing. I want to share a bit of a case study. When I was at Dropbox, 3 of us on my team were going through our life coaching accreditation, and we had heard that the learning and development team was running a grow coaching thing for managers. And we were like, well, our sales managers need like a lot of help. And so how can we be great cross-functional partners? So we also just rolled out Sandler. And we had 4 objectives. We wanted awareness of the grow model. We wanted a safe space for these managers to practice. We wanted to reinforce Sandler through it. And we wanted to increase time coaching. So what do? We did surveys, pre and post, and we took the concepts from Sandler to tie in the methodology. Sandler believes that there's 4 components to being a manager, which is supervisor, mentor, coach, and trainer. And we built a survey around that. And we made managers do a self-assessment, and we made the team do a team assessment of their managers. Then we had people who were nominated to be part of this pilot. We did a 2-hour grow model training for them. So just getting them familiar. You guys got 1 slide, they got 2 hours. I mean, so feel really good about yourselves. They did a 2-hour grow model training. And then we did a 12-week program. 12 managers across EMEA and AMER. And exactly what you all just did. 1-hour sessions, 15 minutes to coach, 5 minutes of feedback. Everyone gets to rotate a role. And I was going to tell you this before, and I was like, no, it'll make more sense after you've all done it. So what you just experienced, we would do in an hour with these 3 people, and all 3 of us on the team would split up our cohorts. We had each of those. And we would support them through this and just facilitate. So what were the results? Time spent coaching increased 132% from week 1 to week 12. Team performance across all 12 teams went up on average 4.3% the following quarter. And we had a score of 4.75 out of 5 that managers said, I can directly apply this to my role. And our Dropbox standard at the time was 4.2. And the qualitative feedback was that people felt so empowered. I love what you said. You feel really empowered coaching, and you feel like you have ownership and a safe space to practice it. Many times performance conversations came up. Is it will versus skill? How do I talk about that? So we used the grow model to practice in these cohorts. Cohorts then got so close over the 12 weeks that they were like, screw you guys. We're going to go over here and meet and talk on our own, and like, we're not alone anymore. Managers feel really alone a lot of times, and like they're the only ones dealing with their issues. And then reps, in turn, felt way more supported, motivated, and in control of their goals. Instead of just do what I did, it was maybe I can do something my own way. And as we can see, it increased team performance. So I share that with you because it's a case study. After that, we ended up rolling out the program to everyone. And I left Dropbox at that time, so I don't have data for you. So signals that you need sales coaching in your organization. If you're noticing that your sales managers are spending a lot of time on calls and admin, that means they're more than likely spending their time where they're comfortable. And admin, I don't mean like filling out Salesforce, like none of them do that anyway. So I mean like they are like, I'm gonna be at every customer call and I'm really gonna be in the weeds of everything. Like they need to up-level themselves, and this is where they're comfortable. If they start oversimplifying their needs and unable to prioritize, this happens all the time. That's a leadership issue, and it's also a trickle-down effect. This is why teams aren't successful. Because if their manager can't prioritize and clarify what they want or what they're looking to do, how do you think that filters into their team? Avoiding completion of enablement programs. Do I need to say any more about this? I mean, come on. We're chasing people all the time, but we are rolling things out that actually take weight off of the manager. That is the hope, that we are going to take reps and enable them and managers and enable them too. And they just need to be partners to us. And then competencies are widely ranging. So many times when people hire, you're in fast hiring growth, what happens is you have a team that's like low, medium, high performers. If that stays the same, they need to learn how to coach. The idea is we are moving everybody towards high performance, or you're performance managing out over time. And lastly, harping on reps by telling them what to do. Also, just do what I did. So, and you can see this is the worst acronym like ever. I try to be creative, like don't judge me, it's really bad. But these are the signals that you need. So I just want to thank you all for being open and willing to go through this exercise. I know it's not easy. Hopefully you all got a taste of what it can look like, and that I've shared with you the results of what it can be. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about enablement in general, because I'm very passionate about that, but coaching, sales coaching, leadership coaching, anything, like our community is so special. Please connect with me. And I'm looking to have 3 clients this year, so that's my shameless plug. So if anybody wants a coach, I am looking to coach more people this year. So thank you. You guys were amazing, and I really appreciate this. Jack, you tell me if you want me to shut up. Okay. Well, I was like, yeah, okay, bye, hello. If anyone has questions, cool, otherwise I will get out of your face. Oh, Slido, oh my gosh, okay, this is great. How do you measure time spent coaching and who they're coaching, ensuring managers aren't only coaching 1 or 2 people on their team? So when we did the survey, we actually broke down a lot of questions pertaining to time. And what we had to do is correlate what a manager said they did versus what their team said they did. And a lot of times we had to take averages. Many times, like not everybody needs a coaching conversation all the time. And so when they did have those poor performers over a long period of time, we directed them towards core and high performers. But for measurement, we leveraged the survey for that. What are some examples around reinforcement? What would that be, a certification or post some sort of certification? So actually at LinkedIn, we have a program called Coachin, and managers have to actually go through extensive workshops. They then actually have to be certified through an ICF accredited life coach. So we have people like myself, there's a bunch of us at LinkedIn who are accredited, and we sit in the room and actually credit them with being internal coaches. And LinkedIn uses the GROW model as well. And we have a framework that we give to them of when they should have these conversations and in what scenarios. Okay, do you use a framework among your internal enablement team for handoffs, continuous learning and onboarding? Yes. So this one from, I'm curious who asked this. I wanted to make sure I answer it correctly.
That was for the previous session.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I just wanted to double check. I have an answer for it, but for sales coaching, do you have managers start by asking the AE what their goal is? Or is the goal assumed? I love this question. You always want to ask the rep. It's a really good signal of where their mind's at. You telling them that their goal should be to hit their quota won't make their goal hitting their quota. So that's what I will say there. I think that like hearing from them, you get a really deep understanding of where somebody's at or what's top of mind for them. Thank you so much for the Schitt's Creek comment. At Hopin, you'll all laugh at Hopin, I ran a bi-weekly call called the Hopline, and I dressed up as David, and I did Shanzer's Creek, and thought it was like so creative. I was like, do I keep this sweater with lightning bolts on it? I don't know. Yes, absolutely, and the white glasses. What sales methodology do you use at LinkedIn? So the sales methodology, it's a great question. The sales methodology that we use is actually homegrown, and it's called Blueprint, and it's tied to 9 skills. I am currently revamping our entire sales process at LinkedIn, so like no pressure. But we have 9 skills that we've identified that are really, really critical to people's success. And now we've done work to identify what are the critical activities, and we're merging those together as we speak. How have you received alignment on the true definition of coaching? This is twofold. I think in organizations, there's a lot of frameworks out there that you can use, but I go off of International Coaching Federation. That's what I'm accredited through. And I went through it for 3 years, and so I very much use theirs as like the gold standard. There are also many other coaching companies, but at the end of the day, in simplest terms, your job as a coach is to help be there alongside someone as they take steps forward. It is not your job to put your hand on their back and shove them through or grab their hand or pull them. You are there with them to be a partner, and your job is to ask meaningful and powerful questions so that they can open up their own world. So, thank you all so much. And yeah, I hope I connect with a bunch of you. So thank you for today.